All right, welcome back to the Ecamm Live Masterclass. Now let's carry on. I know there's a lot of stuff that you're learning and it might be new to you. However, I'm going to tell you right now, once you know the fundamentals of Ecamm Live, things just get so much easier and you'll know how to do things from and create from your mind and actually put them out into your videos and your content as well. At the same time, it'll boost your confidence in knowing how to use Ecamm Live. So I'm really proud of you and thank you for carrying on with this. Now, this video, I'm going to show you what is going on inside of this big window where you see my face. This is called the preview window. Now, it's called the preview window because everything that you're doing inside of here actually is a preview. However, technically speaking, it's also what is actually being live produced, recorded, or streamed. And so it might be a little bit confusing for some people to understand the difference. Now, the only reason why it's called a preview and it's also your program feed or your output or your recording is because by default, that's exactly what it is. So if I make any changes in real time to what you see on this display here, that's actually going to be recorded, that will be live streamed at the same time. However, if I want to, let's say, for example, do a live stream, but I want to make some changes or to my recording and I want to make some changes without that being streamed, well, then I'm going to go ahead and click on here where it's called preview mode. Now you'll notice when I click on preview mode, a second window appears, and this window is called the program window. The program window is the program feed, and that's a term that we use in video production that's called the stream. This is actually what is happening in real time. Now, when you'll notice that when I make some changes in the preview, if let's say I switch to this little demo scene that I created, it doesn't appear in the program. Why is that? Because this is called a preview. So this allows me to make those changes before it's actually applied to the stream itself. So if I know that I wanted this to be centered, then I can go ahead and click on the publish button, and then the program feed will change. Now, this is useful usually for live streaming, or it's useful if you're just the camera, the talent in front of the camera, and there's somebody else doing the recording for you, and they're making the changes and switches. A lot of the time when I'm doing my live productions, my remote productions, when I'm simply just presenting other people who are coming into my Ecamm Live, then what will happen is occasionally I need to change their last name or first name or something on the display because there's somebody who's new who's speaking and I wasn't aware of these changes, so I can go ahead and change those lower thirds without it showing in the actual program feed. So I can, go ahead and add a text overlay and just add, let's say, a name here. And again, you'll see that it doesn't show up in the program feed until I hit publish. Right? And then if I wanted to delete that, it doesn't show up or doesn't disappear until I hit publish. So that's the reason why this here is called the preview window. Now, what you noticed is I just clicked on the back to live button mode, and this program window still is there. Now, it's there simply because it's actually kind of a handy tool in many different ways. What I do is I usually bring this into the display that's closest to my camera while Ecamm Live is running on a different display. And the reason why I do that is because it allows me to see what's actually happening. For me, I use that as a confidence monitor for myself in knowing that, okay, I didn't make that change or I didn't make that transition. But however, you'll see I'm in live mode. Now, if I go ahead and make that name appear, you'll see it appears on both of those, the preview as well as the program. Okay, so just make sure you know which mode you are in. You'll notice that when I'm in preview mode, there's a big yellow box up here. When I'm in live mode, that does not appear. And so if you're in live mode, most of the time you'll be doing this when you're recording. You can either keep this window or you can go ahead and click on the little X button at the top left to hide that box. All right, so that's the quick thing about the preview window and preview mode versus live mode. Now let's go into other areas here. The red box here will tell you kind of like the signals that are being sent out by Ecamm. So you can see here it says NDI out as well as mic delay. And the mic delay is from the preferences. If you remember, we talked about the audio tab and we talked about adding a delay. And this is only used when you have a microphone and a video source that are coming in from separate interfaces. So you may have to delay that audio a little bit. And The NDI output, if you remember from, again, the previous video, I had NDI output enabled because I'm actually sending this video feed to another computer system for recording purposes. So that is going to be there. Now, the default scenes tab, or excuse me, the scenes tab here allows you to quickly switch between the different scenes that you have, or you can move over here and click on the scenes themselves. So it's one or the other. It's just, in a two convenient places, let's call it that way. Now, in the top center area here, this is where you are able to enable streaming or disable streaming, and enable recording or disable recording as well. Now, if you have both stream and record on, it means that you now have the ability to go live stream to whatever destinations you have selected. And because the recording tab is enabled as well, it means whenever you actually go live, the recording starts as well. So not only are you streaming your video, you're actually recording a raw, high quality file on your computer system locally. Now, when I do live stream, I always have the recording enabled. Now, if you're not live streaming and you simply want to record, we call it live to drive or recording to tape, even though we don't use tapes anymore, you're going to disable the stream toggle and you're just going to use the record button, and you'll see that the record button is over here. Now, the other combination is you can stream but not record. And all this does, it goes out to YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter. It goes out to those destinations, but there's no local recording that is created. Now, why would somebody do it this way? If your computer's not the fastest, it might be a little bit easier for you to just stream out. Or if you don't really care about having a recorded file because you know that when you live stream, it's being recorded there anyway, then you don't necessarily need to have that file over on your computer system. So that's really the only options for that. Virtual camera says ready because I do have my virtual camera installed. So I can use my Ecamm Live signal to go out to other different applications or browsers that use normally your webcam, and instead it sees an Ecamm Live virtual camera there. The next area here are the different types of scene types. So we talked about the scenes box here. Well, there's 3 different types of scenes. You can have a camera scene, a screen share overlay scene, or a video scene. So if I am in camera mode, then the entire scene itself is filled with a camera source or multiple camera sources. So if I had, let's say the interview mode was enabled and I had another screen share box, I can just click on here to add them side by side, or I can go ahead and, let's say, add them as an overlay. This is just a placeholder for them. I can put them there and then that will show up. Now, I cannot, in camera mode, I cannot edit this camera other than switching the cameras. If I had multiple cameras connected to my computer, might have a 3/4 or a side or an overview camera. But it's basically what video or what camera feed is filling the entire scene here. That's what camera mode is. Now, screen share mode is exactly what that is. If you have multiple screens or one single screen on your computer system, you can share just that into the full display of the scene itself. So if I'm going to go click on that, now you might see multiple displays or you might see one. Okay, right now you see one display. Now what happened was, keep an eye on this area here. Instead of this camera switcher, it switches to a different switcher box. You can see that moving around a little bit. And instead of showing the current application, so if I can switch to, let's say, switch to this browser, or if I switch to my, let's see, my Stream Deck configuration, whatever application that I'm clicking on will be the active one that's showing in this display. So I can keep it that way, or I can show specific display monitors. So let's say I wanted to show the primary display, which is having 3 different applications, my microphone, Stream Deck, and audio routing application. I can show that, and whatever I do to that screen, shows up on there. And that's a screen share option. Or I can show my third display, which is Ecamm Live, the website, and I can go here and just browse around. And if I wanted to, I can say, hey, add my camera overlay to the corner, and let's make myself a nice little squircle size or shape. And then, I can start browsing around and showing everybody about Ecamm Live. So that's the screen share mode. So again, everything, the application or the screen that you're showing is going to take the full screen of the background, and then you add other overlay assets to it. And again, with regards to overlays, go to the overlay video, and it's going to explain everything about overlays themselves. So right now we're just on the preview screen. Now the third button up here is the video file. So this will now bring a video that you select from your computer system into full screen mode playing into your Ecamm Live. So this is great for video scenes. So let's just change this one to video, and let me edit that. So instead of this little tiny video of me, what I'm going to do is just going to delete this one here. And then I click on the video button here and then go to my assets. And let's see, this is a sample video. I've got that there. So none basically means that it automatically plays that video. And what you'll see here is it'll actually mute my own microphone so that whenever I switch to the video scene, usually it's kind of like a commercial or some sort of a video training, and I don't really want to be heard, because this actually, as a producer, hint, hint, this gives you an opportunity to have a quick drink of water or something if you ever needed to. So when you click on the scene that plays a video, keep an eye on this box up here. I've got that there. So none basically means that this can go anywhere. You'll notice that this is now whited out. It's not really going to snap or... Now, the keen observers will notice that I actually unmuted my microphone so that I could speak over that video. And that allows you to kind of do some commentaries on those videos. So, for example, if I wanted to go ahead and click on this video, I've got that there. So none basically means that I can click on pause, and then I could start talking, and you can see my microphone is moving. However, when I hit play, this movie audio channel is going to go anywhere. And it's now you're hearing an echo because I didn't enable echo cancellation on my end, so I apologize about that. That's something we're going to dive deeper into that when we talk about sound levels. I'm just doing this as a sample for you. So that's what the video file is. Now this is a full screen video. So remember that each and every single one of these 3 different scene types is a full scene, right? It's like full screen camera, full screen application or window sharing, or full screen video file. Now there's actually a 4th type of scene, and it's actually a blank scene. And you can go ahead and either create a new scene like this and call it blank, and then go to camera source and then say blank, right? So this is neither of these 3 different options here. Or by default, this is how I like to do it. I'm going to go back over here so you can see my camera. I like to go into Ecamm Preferences and then go over to the Video tab. And then I like to choose this so that it's blank, so that every time I do create a brand new scene, it's not really choosing a camera, it's just completely blank. And the reason why I do that is because most of the scenes that I create have overlays, camera overlays, frame pictures and image overlays. They don't start with a camera in the scene in the background. So now every time I click on the plus sign, you'll see that it starts blank. Neither of these 3 options here are enabled. All right, the next box over here is basically telling you which license type you have. So you can see here, this is my license, and this is when it expires or renews. Another box will appear up in this area when you are actually live streaming. It'll tell you that you're live streaming, and there are certain channels that you're live streaming to. And so let's go ahead and take a look at what that looks like. So you'll see now I'm actually live streaming to my YouTube channel, and this box has now changed. You can see a little chain link as well as a number here. And this would be according to the number of viewers who are watching your video. So you could also click on this and you can see the channel or channels that you're streaming to, because Ecamm Live does allow you to multi-stream to more than one location. And you can see right now I just have one. This is the channel name, and this is actually streaming to that channel. And then you see the little share icon, and if I click on that, it allows me to open up the video that I'm streaming to, so you can actually watch yourself if you really wanted to. You can go ahead and copy the video URL so that you can quickly paste it into an email and send it out to your email list saying, I'm live. You can go into the YouTube studio for this specific video so that you can see from the back end how things are working. You can go into the live control room, or you can just end the stream from here. So for example, if I go over to copy URL and I now paste this here, you'll see now you actually heard myself. I actually was watching myself on YouTube, right? So not just YouTube. So that's actually me streaming. And that allows me to send again, like by copying the URL to other locations. And very quickly, you'll see as I am continuously watching on this other browser in YouTube, this does update every so often, and it should now show one if I just kept on streaming and watching at the same time. Now, on the right side of this preview window, you'll see all of these quick buttons. This allows you to open and close all of these different panels. So just quickly browse through these. This one here helps you to open up your camera switcher window here. This one are your overlays panel. This one are your sound levels panel. You can see them opening and closing. This one here is the camera effects panel. This one here is your sound effects panel, your comments window. This is your interview mode window. And this one is the zoom window, and then your Ecamm preferences from here. So if you needed to go into or open any one of these windows or close them, when you memorize them, you can just go ahead and click on any one of these here to toggle them on or off. Now, as mentioned previously in another video, this little box that's hovering around the bottom of the preview window, when you're in camera mode, then this switcher appears. Now, this switcher is very similar over here to the camera switcher window. However, it only appears when the mouse is moving above or hovering over the actual preview window itself. And it allows you to quickly change the camera source for this specific scene. Remember, we're in camera mode. So if I went here, I could click on guest number one, or I can switch on myself. Now, this is again full screen, and you can switch the cameras themselves. Now, a lot of the times you are going to use certain cameras with certain scenes and switch the scenes. However, there are situations that you will use the camera switcher itself. Now you'll see there's a little toggle here for all camera sources or the A/B camera placeholders. And this box for the camera switcher happens to change at the exact same time. And we're going to dive a little bit deeper into that video for the camera switcher and tell you what the differences are, differences are between all and A/B. So you just click on that video when you are wanting to know about that. Now, the other buttons that are available on the display here are going to be showing up here in the bottom center called record, or it'll show up if you're streaming on the right side. So let's switch over to the recording only, or the actual broadcasting options here. And so now I'm in streaming mode, which means that, again, if I'm going live, then I'm streaming and I'm also recording at the same time. So what happens here is you'll see this window now displays what is coming up based on the destinations that I have enabled inside of the Ecamm preferences. So let's really quickly go over there and click on the destinations tab. You can see that I have 3 different channels that are connected to my Ecamm Live right now. So I've got the Creator Tech Lab YouTube channel, another Creator Tech Lab YouTube channel, as well as the Ecamm Live YouTube channel. And so what Ecamm Live does is it connects to those 3 destinations through the YouTube API, and YouTube says, oh, hey, by the way, you have this or these upcoming live streams. And it just so happens that it has this live stream that's coming up from the Ecamm Live channel. But that happens in 3 days, and I can click on it and it says, no, you can't actually go live until 120 minutes before, so 2 hours before the actual live stream. And then here I can switch between all of the different upcoming streams. So if I wanted to change the destination or change which channel I was or stream I was going to, because these are pre-scheduled, I can go ahead and select those here. And then you'll see that one's now in 4 days and that one's in 5 days. So I can change them depending upon which one I'm actually going to, because maybe on the same channel, I'm going to be going live on this specific live video that's been pre-scheduled, and I have a friend or business partner who's going on the exact same channel but live streaming to a different scheduled program, right? Because we can do multiple live streams on the same channel at the same time from different computer systems. So that's that option there. You can just switch that around. And then new allows me to go ahead and create a new broadcast. And I can either go live immediately or I could actually schedule it from Ecamm Live itself. Now, depending upon the destinations that you have, you can go ahead and say, let's say I'm going to go here and I'm just going to go live right now. So if I go live right now, I'm going to enter a title and I'm going to say, this is Ecamm Live. Now, if I'm not really good at adding titles to live streams, you can click on this little fireball button, and that uses AI to give you some really epic suggestions. So streaming with Ecamm Live or Ecamm Adventures Live. So you can do that and you can keep clicking on it again and each and every single time it'll come up with some really cool things. So capture and connect, boom. And then you'll have to put up your own description. Now, there's no AI for this right now, simply because everybody's descriptions are different. There's different formats and there's different, I guess, SEO ways for YouTube or any other destinations that you're going to. So this really is going to be your thing here. Now, the visibility will vary depending upon the platform that you're going to, but YouTube, as an example, is going to give you the public, unlisted, or private options, and you can also go individually. So for example, if I was going to Ecamm Live as well as my Creator Tech Lab channel, I can say go unlisted on the Ecamm Live channel, but go public on the Creator Tech Lab channel. You can see that, or I can make them all public. You can see the two globes, or I can make them all private. You can now see the lock item on that. So that allows you to globally change the visibility. And again, this is going to depend. Now, if I added Facebook, it's going to be a bit different. If I added Twitch and YouTube and Instagram and Twitter, those are going to be different options because not everybody has the same options as YouTube. But once you've done that, you can now go ahead here and choose a latency option. Now, the latency option usually is, again, platform specific. So with YouTube, you can choose normal, low, and ultra low. And I'm not going to go deeper into this one, but it depends on the setting here will dictate how your stream is going. Okay, so a normal latency means that when I say something on the YouTube side, it's going to happen almost 30 seconds later. And then by doing this, it allows real-time captions. It allows you to actually stream at true 4K resolution. It allows you to do a few other things because YouTube has that time in order to be able to do that for the actual viewers. And then ultra-low latency is basically when I say something, it happens within 6 to 10 seconds actually on the YouTube channel, right? But YouTube doesn't have enough time to do 4K processing. It doesn't have time to do any of the captions. So those are actually disabled at 4K. So just to keep those things in mind, again, watch the video that dives a little bit deeper into that. And once you've done that, you can either go live or you can schedule it. And if you happen to schedule it, you can change the date here. Click on the little calendar to switch that, let's say by tomorrow at this time. And then you can click on add image and you can say, which image is it going to be? So that's going to be my thumbnail, and that will be displayed on that end destination as the video thumbnail or as that preview. Now, keep in mind that if you schedule something here, you shouldn't really be playing around and testing on that schedule. The reason why is because if you have notifications enabled on that platform, your people will get that notification. So don't test your schedules. Make sure you know what you're doing in terms of that. Now, certain platforms you can create and schedule the live streams directly through those platforms. So for example, YouTube, you can actually go ahead and click on go live and schedule that video, that live stream for a future date, do the title, the description, all of the different pieces when you're creating this live stream or programming it and scheduling it. And then you can change, the thumbnails. Then what happens is Ecamm Live will actually see it directly from this list. It will automatically synchronize with that YouTube schedule. Same thing with your Facebook pages for the most part, and also LinkedIn and Twitter and all that stuff that have direct connections to Ecamm Live. If it's an RTMP connection, there is no two-way signal that Ecamm Live can say, hey, do you have any streams coming up? It doesn't exist. So you actually have to create those RTMP connections first, and then in Ecamm Live add a new destination and create an RTMP from there, right? So that's this option where you have to add stream keys and all that stuff. So just keep in mind that's how you will go ahead and either go live or schedule from Ecamm Live, depending upon what destinations you have selected. I hope you're really enjoying this Ecamm Live Masterclass because this has been an absolute joy for me to actually create. And the reason why is because I just love Ecamm Live and I love the whole aspect of content creation, and I hope that you do as well. So please go ahead, leave some comments below. Let me know how you feel about this. Let me know if you have other questions about the specific topic that I'm sharing in this video. And Another thing that I really want you to do right now is I want you to go ahead and scan this QR code or click the link in the description below, because this is where I'm going to be housing not only just this Ecamm Live Masterclass, but a lot of cool extras that are not going to be found on YouTube. So you have to register for absolutely for free in order to grab this content. It's in my member portal. So go ahead, scan the QR code or click the link in the description, and I will see you on the other side. Now, back to the regular show. And that is the preview window for Ecamm Live. Now, I know there's a lot of information that you've just learned, and I promise you, the more you practice, the more you go through and dive deeper into Ecamm Live, you'll start to notice and recognize that it actually is quite easy to do. I know you've got it in you, and I'm here to assist you at every moment.